I'm also curious too, um, how much do you get into, I don't even know what to call them, supplements, for lack of a better term, when it comes to trying to biohack your way to health? Like things, you may be able to help supplement your body with that either we're missing from our current diet or your lifestyle is not allowing you to get proper levels of vitamin D, perhaps, or like what are the things that you would say people need to start looking out for that might help them just give themselves a little competitive advantage?
You know what? This is one of those bio-individuality things. It depends. Do you love working out? What is your goal? What do you want, physically? But if we're talking baseline, most people don't have enough potassium. They have too much sodium and not enough potassium. And most of the time, people are told to cut back on their sodium, but they're never told to increase their potassium, even though 96% of people are deficient. They have lower levels of potassium than they should, which is causing issues. Magnesium is another one that we're actually really low in for a number of reasons. So I could go into that whole thing, but a lot of our food doesn't have the same levels of these minerals that they used to have, because our soil health and those types of things. But if we think of magnesium is so incredibly critical to our metabolic health and our stress response, clearing cortisol, all of these things, utilizing our sugar that we're eating in our food. When we're chronically stressed and we're having a high sugar diet and we're not sleeping well, we burn through magnesium like a Corvette going through gas. It's like, and so, and that's huge because it keeps a lot of metabolic processes from happening appropriately in our body. So, for example, for me personally, I live in New England. Between November and February, it's not actually even possible on a perfectly sunny day to get any vitamin D because the UV index isn't appropriate because of where the sun is in the sky. I have to supplement vitamin D, and I supplement K2 along with it because it's that combination. K allows you to get D to work to bring calcium into your bones. And as a woman who is going into menopause, I have to pay attention to that. So there's a lot of these things that go together. My critical items are magnesium, vitamin K, and vitamin D. Those are the ones I'm most conscientious about. And then I created my own electrolyte powder that costs me way less and is very easy to make. And I'll add that to my water, and I make sure that I get that potassium in there as well. And I really focus on whole foods, but as much as I possibly can, I'll get everything I can from whole foods. And there's certain things that I know are difficult to do. And I think it really, really comes down to every single person's situation. Some people can't eat a lot of vegetables because they may have some gastrointestinal issues, right? And so they can't get these vitamins and minerals and micronutrients entirely from whole foods, in which case, um, a whole food supplement might be important for them. And so it really does come down to the individual. One thing that I think that people mistake is saying, well, my labs came back and they said my levels were normal, because they're looking at how much magnesium is in the blood or how much potassium is in the blood or how much calcium is in the blood, and it's normal. Your body regulates those so tightly. That's the last place it's going to change. Intracellularly, where all these things are actually functioning and working, that's what matters, and we're not ever really measuring that. So once your blood shows a problem, now you're really in trouble. It's really a serious situation. But so when it comes to supplementing, it's really individual. I really hesitate to give a blanket statement, except for the fact that most people um, in the North area have to supplement vitamin D, or people who might avoid the sun a lot might need to do some red light supplements, supplementation along with some vitamin D supplementation if for whatever reason they are not going outside, or can't get into the sun. And it doesn't have to be a huge amount, but there's a lot of really fantastic information just put out there by lots of people about the importance of sunlight on our cardiovascular health, especially. Um, and whatnot. There's so many biological processes that I could just like geek out with you about, but you already are going to have to re-listen to the part about the mitochondria. I don't want to add any more to that. But
No,
it
I love
is
that.
really individual.